Yeah, students, to understand log and antilog, firstly you need to understand two terms: characteristic and mantissa. So actually students, in case of antilog, we have three kind of questions. Firstly, we are talking about antilog. So basically we have three kind of questions. First one is simple digit questions like 3.6492 or 1.4829. Otherwise, the second kind, we have the questions like this. We have bar in the question. So 2 bar 4.2.4567 or 3 bar 4856. And the third one in which we have negative kind of questions. Actually, in anti-log, bar and negative questions totally different. So minus 1.2357 or minus 2.1304. So actually we have in anti-log three kind of questions. To find its characteristic and mantissa is quite easier as compared to log. This is its characteristic and this part becomes mantissa only. So 2 bar is the characteristic. 2 bar means actually the characteristic is minus 2. 3 bar means the characteristic is minus 3. But if the question is in negative form, then you can't write minus 1 is its characteristic. Actually, what you need to do to find its characteristic, you just take its one more value. So the characteristic becomes minus 2 and the mantissa is actually whatever be the value, you just subtract it with the greater one. So you can subtract it with 2. 1.2357. So whatever be the answer after solving it, that's your mantissa. In this also, the characteristic is minus 3 and mantissa becomes minus 3, or you can simply say 3 minus 2.1304. So if minus sign is there, then the process is quite change in antilogs. Whatever characteristic they have given you, you just take its characteristic one greater. And for mantissa, you just subtract it. Whatever number is written here, you just subtract it with a greater value. So this is the process to solve characteristic and mantissa in antilogs. But when we are talking about logs, we are having two kind of questions here. First question is simple question 7.89 or 5594, or suppose it's 92.61. And the second kind, when we have zeros in the question, 00009, something like this, 000425. So in this, to find characteristic in mantissa is quite different. What we need to do, we firstly convert it into standard form to find characteristic and mantissa in case of logs. So standard form says just put decimal after one digit from the left. Actually, this is already done in standard form. To form this in standard form means you just need to put point after 5. In this standard form means you just need to put point after 9. In this, the standard form means just put point after 9. You can write it like 9.0. In this, the standard form is you just put point after 4. But do we directly put the points? Obviously not. So if you are just putting decimals or shifting decimals on left side, then how many digits you are shifting, you just take it as 10 power. So we are shifting point from this to this, that means after one digit, that's why we are writing 10 power 1. But if you are shifting point on left side, then you need to put it in 10 power minus. So actually I just put this decimal after 9, so I am shifting this decimal after 5 digits, that's why I need to write it as 10 power minus 5. So either you shift it right or left. If you shift right, take powers in negative. If you shift left, take powers in positive. Here also we are just shifting the values or we develop the points, then the power is always positive. We are making point here. That means after 2 digits. So I just write it as 10 power 2. Now the point is to write its characteristic and mantissa. So whatever be the powers of 10, these are the characteristics. Here it is. I'm just shifting point from this to this. So after 4 digits, that means 10 power minus 4. So the characteristic is minus 4 minus 5 here. Here the characteristic is 1. Here the characteristic is 2. We are not writing it in 10 terms, so the characteristic is 0. So these are the points how to solve characteristic, and the main value becomes our mantissa. So 789 is mantissa. 594 is mantissa. 9261 is our mantissa. And here 9 is our mantissa. And here 425 is our mantissa. So to find mantissa in log is easier. Firstly, just convert it into standard form. And then we just study the log and antilog tables.